Welcome to your weekly music rhythm lessons, short music theory lessons combining our musical and our mathematical skills. Okay, hello everyone, this is your music rhythm lesson 3. We'll start off by having a look at the answers to our music rhythm lesson 2, and then we'll have a look at the new challenges I'm going to set for you this week. Well done to everyone who sent in all their answers. I think everyone actually got last time's answers right, so we're obviously going to have to make them a little bit harder for you this time. Let's just recap what we have learnt so far, and if we have a look at the music theory grid I'm putting on the screen now, you'll see the different notation values that I want you to be learning, and you'll need to be learning to answer the questions in this video. At the top we have semiquavers, and they have, if you look at them carefully, they have the double line either above or below them showing that they are quarter beats. So they are semiquavers and they have a quarter of a beat each. And you get them in groups of 4, sometimes in pairs, or on their own like the one on the end of the line. Underneath that we have the quavers, which are half beats, and you'll see they just have the one line joining them, different to the double line on the semiquavers. That's the way to tell them apart. So they have one line joining them, or sometimes they're just on their own with a little bit of a kick of a tail, like in the picture on the end of the line there. Underneath them we have the crotchets, and they are all one beat each, nice and simple, and they are the filled in black notes. They are one beat each. Underneath them are the minims, and they are 2 beats each, and they are the white notes. And at the bottom we have a semibreve, which is 4 beats long, and you can tell it's a semibreve because it doesn't have a stem on it. Now, just one little thing I want to add this week, I've started putting in here some of the rests for you to see as well. So the squiggly lines, if you look at the quaver and crotchet boxes, you'll see at the end of the lines I've got 2 squiggles. And in the quaver one, your quaver rest looks like this, and underneath your crotchet rest looks like this. Now these rests are the same length, the same value as their equivalent notes. So a quaver rest, this one here, is a half beat rest, and the crotchet rest, this one here, is a 1 beat rest. So you can count those carefully as well as the notes. Right, let's look at last time's answers, and then I'll set you your new challenges for this week. Here we are with the year 1 and 2 question from last time, and as you can see, the answer is 12. And if we count them up at the beginning, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 crotchets at the beginning, 2 minims, so they're worth 2 each in the second bar, so that's another 4 beats there, so that takes us to 8. Then we've got 2 crotchets in the third bar with 2 rests, and we don't count the rests, we just count the 2 beats there, so that takes us to 10. And then in the fourth bar we've got 2 more beats, again 2 rests as well, so we don't count those, so that's an extra 2, so that takes us to 12. So it's 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2, and that's where we get the 12. So the answer for year 1 and 2 was 12. And here's the question for year 3 and 4 last time. Now this one was quite tricky because you've got a lot of quavers at the beginning. Remember, your quaver beats are all half beat notes, and you've got 5 of them at the beginning. You've got 4 in a line joined together, and then you've got 1 on its own with that tail, but it's still a quaver. You can see that because of the tail. So we've got 5 half beat notes there, but we've also got 1 in the next bar as well. So if we have a look at the next bar, you've just got 1 quaver on its own, so we can add that to the other 5 quavers. So we've got 6 quavers in total, so half of 6 is obviously 3. And then at the end of the piece we've got 2 bars. In the first one we've got 2 crotchets and a minim, so that's 2 1 beat crotchets, so that's 2 beats, plus a 2 beat minim, so that's 4 beats. So that's 4 in that bar. And then on the last bar we've got a semibreve, so that's another 4 beats. So that's 8 at the end of the bar plus the 3 at the beginning. So the answer for the year 3-4 challenge last time was 11. And the year 5-6 challenge was quite tricky if you tried to add up all the notes. However, there is a shortcut to this which made it very, very easy, and I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, first of all, if we add up all the notes. Now we need to remember here, and we can all learn from this, a dotted note is half the value again. So the first note here is a dotted crotchet. A crotchet is 1 beat, so a dotted crotchet is 1.5 beats. If you have a dotted minim, a minim is 2 beats, so a dotted minim becomes 2 plus half of 2, which is 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So you add half the value again for a dotted note. So we've got here at the beginning a dotted crotchet, that means 1.5 beats. Then we've got a quaver, that's a half beat, so that takes us to 2. Then we've got 2 crotchets, that's 3, 4. Then in the second bar we've got a semibreve, that's 4 beats, that's 8 so far. Then we've got the same pattern again in the third bar. We've got the dotted crotchet and a quaver, 2 more beats, followed by 2 more crotchets, 2 more beats. So we've got 4 beats in that third bar, so we're up to 12 beats now. Then in that fourth bar, we've got a dotted crotchet again, 1.5 beats. Then we've got 2 semiquavers, so 2 quarter beats, which is the same as a half. So actually we've got 2 beats there at the beginning as well. We've got 1.5 beats plus the 2 quarter beats. So that takes us to 2 beats there. And then at the end of the bar, we've got a quaver, which is half a beat, plus another dotted crotchet, which is 1.5 again. So we've actually got 2 beats at the beginning of the bar and 2 beats at the end of the bar. So that fourth bar also has 4 beats. So actually, if you look at all 4 of those bars, each bar has 4 beats. So it's 4 times 4, which is of course 16. Now the easy way to tell that straight away without looking at anything else is just by looking at the time signature at the beginning of the piece. And if you look here, you can see the time signature is where we have 2 4s above each other. And that basically means, the 4 means there are 4 beats in a bar. Now we know what the bars are, these are the bar lines here. So there are 4 beats in each bar, and you can see just from looking at it, there are no rests in this piece of music. There are no rests at all. So all the bars are full. So if there are 4 beats in each bar, and there are no rests, then the answer is 4 beats in each bar. And so we know straight away it's 4 times 4, because there are no rests at all. So the answer was 16, and we could have either worked it out by looking at the time signature at the beginning and realising that there are no rests to take away, or we could have worked it out carefully by adding it all together like we did just there. So that was quite a tricky one. There was also a bonus question if you could work out which song it is. And it is, of course, I Don't Know My Name. A, G, F, C, B flat, A, G, F, C, A, G, F, G, A. Sort of. It just about works. So I hope you enjoyed that. Now let's get down to this week's music rhythm lesson challenge. Okay, here we are for the year 1 and 2, or for anyone else who wants to have a look at it as well, but mainly for year 1 and 2 to have a look at this one. You've got a mix of crotchets and minims. Remember, the minims are 2 beats, and also you've got some rests in there, so have a careful look at those, and have a look back at the grid from the beginning of the video if you need to check what some of those are. Okay, this is this week's year 3 and 4 task, and it's relatively simple with mainly crotchets and minims, but you've got some dots in there as well. So I'm not going to say any more there, but have a look carefully at what those dots mean and look back at the grid and the beginning of the video if you're not sure. Okay, and this week's year 5 and 6 task, and you've got some tied notes and you've got some dots. You don't actually need to worry too much about the ties, because in this instance we're counting the beats and the ties are irrelevant, but the dots are very important, and also look carefully at your rests. So there you are, got quite a mix of crotchets and quavers there for you to work out. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this week's music rhythm lesson challenge, everyone. Don't forget to send in your answers through the Class Dojo or Teams, and you'll get points for every correct answer I receive. Okay, do have fun and see you next time.